Raw Talk is opinion-based, and everyone is encouraged to do their own research. Raw Talk, baby. We are alive and feeling good today. I will tell you that much. You know I got to bring this in with the question. Question this week is, how will 20 minutes per day change your life? 20 minutes out of the day? Come on. That's not that much time. And what I'm specifically talking about is how will 20 minutes of physical activity a day change your life? So I'm going to really quickly break down on this episode of Raw Talk, walking and the importance of walking to me. But any physical activity for 20 minutes is going to be a good thing that will help benefit your life in so many different factors. So to get into walking, I want to talk about where I was and where I'm at now. So where I was 260 pounds, fresh off of an opiate addiction, drinking a lot of booze and eating a lot of food. That's where I was. Where I'm at now is I'm hovering around 200 pounds. I know I'm still working on that 185 on the Attack 5. I got to work harder on that. But where I'm at now is like 195 to 200. Not drinking booze, I walk about, 3 miles a day. So what got me here? What kept me here? What benefits am I seeing from walking every single day? So to get started, during COVID, I did have a wicked ankle injury at one point. I was on a vacation. The floor was slippy. I was carrying a bunch of luggage. I was walking down some steps and I misstepped and rolled my left ankle so bad. It did not break, but it was like super sprung, right? So that had me on my ass. And actually, when I was laid out with my ankle and all fucked up for months, that is actually when I put on the most weight. I gained so much weight so quickly that I literally got stretch marks on my stomach. And they're still kind of there, but not as bad as they were. But that's when it was really bad. Ankle injury, I lost my mobility. I felt like, I could just put all my emotions into drinking a bottle. And I did do that. It was whiskey. And at the time it was delicious with Coke, but it made me a big balloon. And so I had this lack of confidence. I lost my mobility and I needed to start walking again, because before then I was doing like a mile a day. And I love walking because you get outside. I'm going to get into these benefits, right? So if you can just go outside, right? And even if it's just a 10-minute walk, like let's say you have a dog, if you're a dog owner, you should really be taking your dog out often and taking care of your animal. But there's so many benefits to getting outside. And first of all, noticing the outdoors, because in the beginning for me, the walking was blah, it's boring. I've seen this block before. I've seen this area of town before. It's kind of hot. It's kind of cold. I wasn't really immersed in the process of moving my body. I was kind of maybe looking at my phone while I'm on a walk, not really present. So there was that period where walking was so to me, and I just was doing it because I knew I needed to do something. But I had gotten over this ankle injury. I started walking again, and then I actually got COVID. And that's when walking became real for me. That's when it really became part of my life. Because for those 2 weeks when I was quarantining, I couldn't podcast. We were working on other productions that I couldn't step in on, and that was driving me crazy that I couldn't be a part of that. And I had all this energy, and I was like, all right, I'm going to just start going on walks. I could still keep my distance from people and go on walks. So I did that, and it started with just 20 minutes a day around the neighborhood. And I could do about a mile in 20 minutes, right? And most people could probably do about a mile in 20 minutes. So it started to feel good. And then that became easier and easier. So then I started driving to find cool walking paths. And then I just kind of kept pushing myself more and more and more. I kept walking more and more. And I love it now. I need walking to be part of almost every single day of my life. And I'm walking probably 5 to 6 times a week, around 3 miles a day. It's fantastic for me. But it was over time that I built up that ritual and also became more present on the walk and getting into nature and how wonderful that is, and noticing all the different seasons, because I'll go out and walk when it's freezing out. I'll go out and walk when it's hot out. And that kind of brings me to another point, is sometimes you got to do it even when you don't want to do it. And then that feeling that you get when you overcame your self-doubt, when you overcame your complacency, you're like, that's right, who's the boss now? I handled that. I went on a walk even when it was 5 degrees. And it's funny when you see nobody else out there too, and you're like, oh, everybody else is making the excuse not to come out today, but I'm out here. So walking to me is like this primal thing as well, because we're nomadic. Humans are nomadic in nature. In the very beginning, before agriculture and all this other stuff that we have nowadays that makes life so comfortable, we had to go walk and find our food. We were walking all the time, setting up new camps, breaking it down, walking to the new location. So walking is just so essential, and honestly, that's our mobility. You know, that's how we can just use the restroom. I got to walk to the bathroom. You know, so walking has all these benefits beyond just physical health. Like, it's like physical well-being, it's mental health. You know, keep moving. You can use breathing techniques while you're walking, like walking, breathing, feeling alive, present amongst all the life in this beautiful planet that we live on. Like, you start noticing the trees, you start noticing the clouds, or like all the seasonal birds that are coming in, or like the different insects during the different times of years. Like, I wasn't noticing all that in the beginning. When I first started walks, I was not noticing all that, but now I'm completely enveloped in it. So you got to get your body moving. You have to do this. It's just so important. And even if like you're overcoming an injury and you lack the confidence, then, you know, go out there and limp it out and just start, because it's not going to get any stronger if you don't use it. My grandma told my dad, he told me, if a busy boy is a better boy, a body in motion stays in motion. We know all these quotes. So we got to stay active, stay walking, stay moving. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, honestly. Like, I always feel better after I get some steps in, and it's like this release. And especially being in nature, like, there's a benefit to working out in a gym. Like, I could do an incline for a whole hour. Like, I would have to go hiking or, like, you know, hit a mountain to do that in real life. But getting outside, there's like all these mental health benefits, and being in your own thoughts. And I've come to so many deep conclusions while I'm on these walks, being present, being physically active, and it's hard for me to really truly describe how much it means to me. And I will share a story about overcoming opiates, because when I used to take pills, I was one of those types where I would feel euphoric from it. Like, I was like, oh yeah, shit feels great. Like, I feel amazing. And that was fake. So it took a long time, but like 2 years or something, like almost 2.5 years after I quit opiates, I felt the opiate high naturally, and it brought me to tears, because I felt euphoric, and I recognized that feeling, and I was like, holy shit, like, I actually did this sober. And it happened when I was on a walk. I was walking, breathing. I was like, wow, this is such a beautiful day, and like this aura just hit me, and I was like, wow, I am so blessed to be here and to be alive. And I just felt so thankful in that moment to be present, and it meant so much to me. And that's happened multiple times since then, actually. So I could just keep going off here on this monologue on walking and why I love it so much. You know, I've seen bald eagles out on walks. I see like F-16 fighter jets flying over on a walk. That's epic. And not only that, I'm surrounding myself with people who are also healthy. Like, the company you keep is important. And even though like all the other people on the path aren't necessarily my friends that I sit down and enjoy dinner with, but like I do have some walking path acquaintances where it's like, oh, I see you out here again today. Oh, good job, you out here getting it. And they see me too. And you are just surrounding yourself with this good energy. And the more that you do that, the more that you're going to like fall into line. Whoever you're spending all your time with, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're focusing on all the time, you will receive more of that. So if you're focusing on moving your body, you're focusing on being more physically active, you are noticing other people who are physically fit around you because you're putting yourself in those places where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're out of shape right now, like just keep it up. Like, this is not an instant gratification type of a game here. No, this is the long, cold, hard road of holding yourself accountable, and you have to keep doing it every day. Like I mentioned, like it's freezing out. Like, what? So I get to just take a day off? Like, sure, I'll take some days off, but like I gotta stay after it, and I have to do it for me, because I feel the best after a nice long walk. So that's my rant on walking. Raw talk is fun, man. This is fun for me to come in here and talk about some things that I'm passionate about. Yeah, I've had some more serious episodes. This one is a little bit more of a fun episode, and just I wanted to express my joy in walking and getting out in nature and being present and just seeing the life that is around us. Because in the beginning, it wasn't that much fun. It was kind of dull and boring. Let me go on a walk. Like, that's not fun. But then now I'm like, man, I can't wait to feel my legs move as I'm breathing, as I'm hearing all this nature, as I'm smelling the air. Like, how does it feel outside right now? And how blessed am I to be able to sense that? So whatever you do, just spend 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day you can spend on yourself. You can be selfish for 20 minutes a day and take care of yourself. Whether if it's a quick walk. I mean, walking is just so easy. It's free. It's not like I'm running. Like, I'm not messing my knees up by walking. Like, you know, that's doable. So get some steps in. Go outside. Enjoy the weather. And even if it's a displeasant day, maybe it's scorching hot or something, then go get that endurance. Show yourself that you are a warrior, that you are going to show up when other people don't want to. And more importantly, you're showing up for yourself. You don't quit on yourself. You keep going for you. And then that is where you will truly find your purpose. I believe this too. Like, on the walks, I've thought so many epic things and came to so many epic conclusions and found myself. I found myself outside. So get out into nature, enjoy some walks. This is just a quick one on this. How will 20 minutes per day change your life? Let's go, baby. I'll be back next week.